Alright guys, welcome back. So my name is Jonathan again. I am a 2022-2023 Chevening scholar studying cybersecurity at Cardiff University, and I'll be giving you a framework on how you can approach the study in the UK essay. So the study in the UK essay, how should you approach it? So normally, Chevening scholarship, you are supposed to select 3 universities in the UK that you are going to be studying in order of priority. So your first choice, second choice, and third choice, like that. Your first choice will be your most important, your second choice is the second important, and the last choice, like that. So you need to do a lot of research here. You can go to websites that are great. I think go to Complete University Guide. Just type Complete University Guide on Google so that it will give you the direct website. I think I used that during searching for schools. Complete University Guide. I think completeuniversityguide.co, something around that. Just type it in Google, you get the direct website. So they give you by field, maybe health sciences, and ranking in the UK. You can also check your courses on the Chevening website. I think Chevening has a catalog of courses that are approved that you can check. So you have to select 3 courses in order of importance, with the first being the most important. Now this is where you do your research. After knowing the universities that you want to go to, now the thing is you can select the same course. You can select similar courses from one university, which is not advisable. It's best to select 3 courses from 3 different universities which are similar. For example, in my case, I'm studying cybersecurity. My first choice was Cardiff University Cybersecurity. My second choice was MSc Cybersecurity from Warwick University. My third choice is cybersecurity, also from Lancaster University. You can see the same course, cybersecurity from different universities. So Cardiff was my first choice, Warwick was my second choice, Lancaster was my third choice. So after knowing these schools where you want to go to, you can use the rankings. It might not necessarily, well, I would say before I come to rankings, so just know the schools you want to go to. So before you decide on the 3 schools, you have to do a lot of research on a lot of schools before you now say, okay, this school is the one I want to choose for my first school. And that's where you have to do research. Go on Google, type best school in this course on Google, best school in cybersecurity in the UK, best school in public health, best school in pharmacy, best school in criminology, whatever. You can type it on Google. You will see websites that list schools in the UK and how they are doing in that those your sectors or field of study. So you now need to go to those schools' websites, go to the courses website, read about the courses. Please read about the courses, read about everything from the description of the course to the course modules to the way the courses are being taught. How are they being taught? Is it combination of lectures or assignments or presentations or group work, and all of that? Read everything about it on the course website. Read the modules, most importantly, the course modules, the details of the course modules. Maybe this module talks about penetration testing. What are you going to learn in that course? And how, if it's something relatable, is it something that you actually look forward to learn based on the problem that you have identified in your country that you want to solve when we get to career plan? So that's why course modules are very, very important, because it must be relevant to a problem or something that you want to solve that is a problem in your country. So you go through each of these universities before you now arrive at the top 3 that you're going to use as your choices in the Chevening scholarship. So some of the things that you want to talk about when in your university choices, each of your university choices, is your courses. Like I said, your course modules. Maybe your first choice. Take note that your first choice must take most of the bulk of your space, like, because you must talk about, it's your first choice, so you must talk about it a lot. I think my first choice, I used almost a lot of space to talk about why I chose that as my first choice. My second choice, I think I just used like 3 lines or 4 lines. Third choice, I just used like maybe 3 lines to talk about the third choice. That's all, because the first choice is the main thing. That's the main thing that you want to put more effort on in describing why you choose it. And how can you describe why you choose it? You can talk about the course modules, maybe 2 to 3 course modules that particularly interest you in that course. That's why you choose it. You can talk about maybe the lecturer. Mention the lecturer name. Mention mention lecturer name. Check out the lecturer on Google. Type his name on Google. If he has a lecturer website on the school website, go to his lecturer website. Look at what he's doing. For example, one of the lecturers in my first choice, I saw that he received funding of about $19 million. That's because I did research on the lecturer from the European Union on something related to security and all of that. I put it in my essay. That shows I've done my research, I've done my work. So this thing is not, sometimes it might not be one day work. Sometimes you spend hours doing this research, writing them down, right, taking notes. So if you see that, okay, they mention, maybe some schools might not list the lecturers on the course page, you can go to their staff, go to the staff section of the website, look for the people that are in your department. If you're in computer science department, look for the lecturer in your department. You know that, okay, there's none of these lecturers will be, and look at their concentration. So when their concentration will help you know that, okay, this lecturer is definitely going to be teaching these courses. That is if your course page does not list some of the lecturers that will be teaching them. Maybe just need mention one person's name in your course. If he's doing any amazing thing, or you just won a grant, or you're doing something, you're doing a research in that field that you want to also study, you mention it in your course. Mention modules. Also look at how the course is being taught. If that's something that interests you, you can say the courses is taught with a combination of group work and assignments, which will also help you to be able to interact with other students and learn different areas of tackling questions and improve your problem solving skills. That shows that you have done research, because for you to be able to know that the course is going to be taught with a combination of group work and assignments, you have done your research. For you to be able to know, like one professor that's teaching that course, you have done your research. For you to be able to know the modules of that course, you have done your research. Another thing you can also talk about is research. Another thing you can also talk about is the amenities of the school. Maybe your school has a sports center. Yeah, sports center is not only academics. You know, actually, I think somebody actually lost a Chevening scholarship because all their essays was really focused on academics. So you want to make, Chevening wants you to live a balanced life. So you want to include non-academic activities. Like even, maybe if you are studying in Manchester and you're a Manchester United fan, include it that you also like to visit Manchester because it is the base of the Manchester United fan, and you're a Manchester United fan and you also like to visit the Manchester United Stadium. If that is something that interests you, or if maybe there's a popular artist that went to your school, maybe a popular artist or a musician or a poet or someone that's popular in the world went to your school, or somebody that's popular in your country went to your school, or maybe your sport has a gym center that you're interested in gymming and just to keep your mind and body active and all of that. It doesn't have to be everything academics. Look for extracurricular activities, or maybe library, or maybe your school they just built it has state-of-the-art equipment. Maybe it has a lab that's the only lab that they have. In some of these websites they write all these details. Like this is we have some of this lab. We have a lab that's the only lab in the UK that can do this thing. Some schools give those details because they are trying to attract you to their school. So you note some of these things down. These are things that you will use in your essay, but of course you cannot include everything. So you have to now share it. Maybe in your first example, in your first choice, talk about professors and modules, and if there's no more space, maybe in your second choice you can talk about creative, things that you can do as leisure activity. In your third choice you can talk about something else, or you also talk about some of the things you have talked about in your first and second choice. Just put a mixture, but don't just be only academics. Make sure you talk about academics, your modules. Those are important. At least in your three choices, try to talk about at least one module in the course and what you will learn from that module, and what you use the knowledge that you've learned in that module to when you get back to Nigeria. So you must have maybe. Then again, before I continue, I forgot to say that in your introductory paragraph, you must state a problem statement that your country currently faces. For example, when mine studying in the UK, I said that UK is one of the leading countries that prioritize cybersecurity, and I talked about what the UK is doing in cybersecurity, how UK is a global leader in cybersecurity. Also how they prioritize cybersecurity and all of that. So that is why your first paragraph should be, why do you want to study in the UK? So why you want to study in UK, you now list why the UK is the best place for you to study that course, and not France, and not Germany, and not USA. So you have to list, that's another research. You have to do research on what the UK is doing in that your field. So I was able to get information on what the UK is doing in cybersecurity field. I know that they have the GCHQ, the command centers, and all of those cybersecurity stuff that UK is doing. UK, I think, is the number 4 in the world in cybersecurity. So I put those information in my first paragraph. That is like why I want to go to the UK. Then my following paragraph, you have to give a valid reason why you want to study in the UK. So that comes from doing your research about what the UK reputation is about your course, or maybe your school. Generally, so in your first paragraph, you just want to talk about why the UK generally. So that's where you talk about what the UK has done as related to your course. Then your first paragraph, you talk about your first choice, your first choice. So you can mention maybe 2 modules, mention one lecturer, about the lecturer, what you hope to gain from the lecturer, and maybe if you're doing some research, you can say you're interested in his research. If you're actually interested in his research, because you're going to learn this and this, which will help you in this when you return to your country, in doing this that you say you want to do. So what you say you want to do, also it will be something related to your career plan. Yes, we'll get to that. In your you can also talk about leisure activities. For example, one sentence I used was like, aside from the unparalleled learning experience that Cardiff University has to offer, I also look forward to visiting the Cardiff Castle. Cardiff Castle is the most tourist attraction in all of Wales, and I got this information from doing research. I wouldn't know if it was the most visited tourist attraction in all of Wales if I didn't do my research. This shows the reading community you're actually interested in this. You have done your research and you know what is what about the school and all of that. Second paragraph, you talk about your course. You can start with MSc Cybersecurity from so university is my second choice. I have chosen it because of this and this modules, like this and this. You can mention one module, you can mention one lecturer. You can also mention maybe something that caught your attention rather in the school, maybe a football club or the area. You can also look at, if you're schooling in London, if you're schooling in Wales, if you're schooling in Cardiff, look at the area. What is one of the attractions in the area? Browse, just type the area on Google, look at tourist attraction in so area. So you see tourist attraction. This is how you browse the internet, how you do your research about the area, so that you might do research for 1 hour and get just one line of sentence from that research, which will be very, very important in your essay. And it's part of putting in the work in your essay, because getting Chevening no be beans. It's real work, so you have to actually put in all this work. Then your fourth paragraph now, which will be your third choice, which will be the least talk about. You can just talk about the course. Maybe you can use ranking for that more. Make sure when you're using ranking, make sure it's about ranking of the course and not just ranking of the school, because your school can rank number 1 for being the school, but rank number 700 for being that course. That's just a hypothetical example. So you want to make sure that whatever ranking that you are using, you can go online, ranking of so. That way, the website I mentioned earlier, Complete University Guide, you just type it on Google, it take you to the direct website, it give you the rankings of your college or that course in the UK and also in the world. So you can use the ranking. Make sure it's the ranking that relates to the college or the course. Make sure you can also talk about funding. I'm talking about maybe your college got funding from the EU, from the UK government, or from other agencies to do some research. You can talk about it. You can maybe 3 lines talk about your last choice. No, it's not necessarily something very intensive. Since it's your least choice, it doesn't mean you not do your research about it. Then your last paragraph, which is your concluding paragraph, you can conclude by saying what you hope to gain by studying in the UK. I think for mine, I said like the UK will give me, the Chevening scholarship will give me the opportunity to study in the UK and also learn from world-class leaders, world-class lecturers, and also look to just summarize like that, maybe 2 lines, 3 lines. So these things, when you're putting them together, just put them together. You don't have to be conscious about what counts. Just put them together. Make sure your details is good. Because it's when you have now arranged everything, you can now look at, okay, maybe you mentioned too much information of one school. That's if your word count is more than the allowed word count of 500. Maybe you mentioned too much information about one school, you need to reduce it. or you need to put more information here and reduce somewhere here, or all of that. So that's when you now do your final editing. No need for star approach here. This one is about your research about the UK and about your course. So I believe if you follow this framework, you should have no issues with coming up with a very sound study in the UK essay. Alright, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
My name is Chris.
And my name is Joe.
I'm Jonathan.
And we are the 2022-2023 Chevening Scholars. Subscribe to AFM Stories channels right now.
Yeah, right now. Click that button.
Click it.
Alright.